We are reading the Bible every day until I finish it. This is day 35, I want to say. But we're going to be starting on verse 11 Matthew chapter 11, starting at verse 1. And it goes, when Jesus had finished giving instructions to his 12 disciples, he moved on from there to teach and preach in their towns. Now, when John heard in prison what the Christ was doing, he sent a message through his disciples and asked him, "Are you the one who is to come, or should we expect someone else?" Jesus replied to them, "Go and report to John what you hear and see. The blind receive their sight, the lame walk, those with leprosy are cleansed, the deaf hear, and the dead are raised, and the poor are told the good news. And blessed is the one who isn't offended by me." As these men were leaving, Jesus began to speak to the crowds about John. "What did you go out into the wilderness to see? A reed swaying in the wind? What did you go out to see? A man dressed in soft clothes? See, those who wear soft clothes are in royal palaces. What then did you go out to see? A prophet? Yes, I tell you, and more than a prophet. This is the one about whom it is written, 'See, I am sending my messenger ahead of you. He will prepare your way before you.' Truly I tell you, among these born of women, no one greater than John the Baptist has appeared. But the least of the kingdom of heaven is greater than he. From the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven has been suffering violence, and the violent have been seizing it by force. For all the prophets and the law prophesied until John, and if you're willing to accept it, he is the Elijah who is to come. Let anyone who has ears listen." So at this point, Jesus has finished giving all his instructions to the disciples about how to go out and spread his message. And John the Baptist currently is in prison, but he gets word of Jesus coming around, and so he sends one of his own disciples to basically ask Jesus. He asks him, "Are you the one to come?" Basically, kind of asking like, "Hey, are you who you say? Are you the Son of God?" And he's asking this not because he's doubting, but because he's essentially wondering why, or wondering when he's going to basically make a great demonstration, right? From what I understand, he kind of expects there to be a like some sort of punishment almost for the sins of man, because John the Baptist had been preaching this message long before Jesus was born. And when Jesus responds with all the great acts he's doing, he's basically just reassuring him, like, yes, it is me. I am the one. Then Jesus turns to the crowd and basically says to everyone that John the Baptist is the greatest of all the prophets who have ever lived, right? Because John the Baptist, as I said before, he has been, preaching the message and baptizing people before Jesus ever got here. And it had been prophesied back in the book of, I want to say, Isaiah, if I'm remembering that correctly. And so Jesus is basically reaffirming him, saying that, hey, John the Baptist is the greatest of all the prophets, and anyone who follows him follows me.